Hey fragrance friends, it's Daniel. So today I want to talk a little bit about my personal journey. I grew up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is an area that has a lot of Amish people. And my grandma was actually Amish till she was 5 years old, and my grandfather was Mennonite, which is sort of similar to the Amish people. And a lot of my relatives are still Mennonites, and a couple are Amish, and the whole area is like very conservative and very plain. They call it like the plain people. Um, so I was just thinking last week, it's Christmas time and the holiday season, and I was reflecting on my life and where I've come from, and I thought that's kind of like crazy when you think about it. I was like in Amish country, super religious, my whole family kind of being like that. My dad's a pastor. He worked for a church growing up, and now he's a pastor of one of his own churches that he's one of the founders of, and it's just so crazy to me that like I moved to Chicago and I'm working and doing these videos about fragrance and skincare and all this, this beauty stuff. And it's just really interesting where life takes you. And my mom and I used to go shopping a lot. That's like one of her favorite things to do when I was a kid. And even before that, I was always really into going to the mall and like smelling the latest scents. I love like Hollister, Abercrombie, anything I could get my hands on. Sephora wasn't around yet when I grew up, so I would go to like JCPenney or Bonton or Sears, wherever they had fragrances to smell, and I would like be really excited by it. And it was weird. I was like, I really like this, and I didn't realize that there was like a career involving something like this. So my mom and I used to go shopping a lot. And in high school, when I was like a senior, we started going to this mall about an hour away almost every week called King of Prussia, and it's a suburb of Philadelphia. And we started going to the department stores, Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, Neiman Marcus, and we started going to Neiman's, and we met these two people, Ronald and Mari, who are still there, I believe. And if you guys are watching, you are the best salespeople at that store, and I love you guys. Anyway, my mom and I went there, and we met these two people, Ronald and Mari, who worked in the beauty department, and they were like so nice. They weren't pushy. They were down to earth. They were like really, really kind, caring people. And Neiman's is a luxury store, and my mom and myself, we never shopped at any of these stores growing up because the impression always was, well, that's like way out of our means. That's like way too expensive to go and shop at. And yeah, like some luxury stores, have handbags that are thousands of dollars or clothing that are thousands of dollars and precious jewelry that go close to $1 million, and it's like most people can't afford that. Of course not. It's really, really expensive. But we discovered in the beauty department that there were some things that even me as like a high schooler I could afford. I started getting my collection of fragrances together, and most were like under $100 because I didn't have a lot of money. And my mom started getting into like designer makeup. She found her lipsticks. She could get a really great lipstick for like $35, which is still kind of a lot for lipstick, but it made her feel so good and so beautiful. And then I went to college. I went to school in Virginia for 2 years, and then I decided to go to New York City to pursue my dream of musical theater. And I went to school at a place called the American Musical and Dramatic Academy in the Upper West Side. And it was a really intense program, but I made it through. It was a 2-year program. It was like so much. It was like 4 years thrown into 2, and I made it. And then I started to travel around doing theater. I did a national tour for kids about cyberbullying, and we traveled from Vermont all the way down to Florida and everywhere in between. And then I started working at some other theaters, some in Pennsylvania, where I'm from actually, and also one in Florida. And it was really nice spending Christmas in Florida. The past 2 years I was in Fort Myers for Christmas, and it's like it doesn't get below like 60. If it's in the 50s, it's like freezing. So Christmas was really cool. Now I'm in Chicago and it's snowing outside and it's like 21 degrees as we speak, so it's a little different, but it's okay. Anyway, I was traveling around doing shows, and I met Dan doing a show in Pennsylvania, and we fell in love, and we've been together ever since. And anyway, after the last show in Florida, last Christmas, it was actually in February, we decided that we wanted to settle down somewhere a little more stable. We were tired of traveling and trying to always make that work and figure out where we were going to go next with the job. So we decided to move to Chicago because they have an awesome theater scene. And I had been working with Chanel Cosmetics already for about 3 years. I got to be a freelance makeup artist in New Jersey, Florida and Pennsylvania, filling in when they need me for events. And we came to Chicago to pursue theater. And when I got here, I was put in contact with the Chanel people, and the position sort of opened up at Neiman Marcus for me downtown on Michigan Avenue, which is a really gorgeous store. There's 4 floors. They have like everything. It's beautiful, and it's in like the best shopping area of the city. And I was just so excited to be there. And I'm telling you guys, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. I love what I do. I love the store, the company, my clients, the brand I represent. And I love to help people find things, you know? Like with women, for instance, when I do makeovers, I will often pick eyeshadow or lipsticks, colors that maybe they are a little timid about. Like they wouldn't go for that. But I see the color in their eyes, their hair, their skin, and when we put them on, they're always amazed and really excited because they're like, oh my god, I like how this looks, and I want to pick that. And for guys and girls, I love to pick fragrance that maybe they didn't know about or wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards. It's sort of that like, oh, that's really cool. That moment when someone's expectations are changed because they were introduced to something that otherwise they would not have gone for. And that's like my favorite part about my job. And I get to do that almost every single day. I help somebody and get to surprise them in a new way and make them feel more confident and better about themselves because of the way that they get to present themselves to the world. They feel more confident with how they look or how they smell and the aura that that brings. So I'm like so thankful that that I have this job and that I do what I do and that I kind of found this path because when I was in Pennsylvania, especially in high school and, you know, after college even, when I wasn't sure what I was going to do, it was hard. It was difficult because I didn't want to live in a small town. That was not appealing to me, and I had bigger dreams and aspirations, and I really wasn't sure how it was going to work out. I didn't know what was going to happen, and I didn't see a clear path. And it was scary because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, and I didn't feel fulfilled or excited about where my life was going. And I guess this could be inspirational to some people that right now feel in that place where they don't see the path ahead of them and they don't know where they're going to go and be happy and do something that they love. And I guess I want to inspire anyone that's feeling that way by saying that it will work out and that you will find something you love and you will get to the place you want to be. If you keep working hard and you stay connected to the people around you and you don't disconnect or give up, you will get to the place you need to be, because I've been there, and coming from a beautiful place, but Amish country, a place full of plain people that love small town life, I just knew that wasn't for me, and I was so unhappy there. And growing up in a conservative religious environment that was very much about conforming and kind of fitting people into the box that society there, some people think should be a certain way, you know. It was hard growing up, knowing I wasn't like everyone else. But the good news is I found my path, and everyone can find their path in time. It will happen. So I hope you enjoyed that story. Just looking back, to me, it's pretty crazy to see my Amish roots and to see where I'm at now, working at this luxury retailer and helping people feel good about themselves. It's like a dream come true. So I want to come full circle, and I want to answer some comments that were left on another video. So this is something that I am going to start doing with my videos, connecting with the comments and all of my subscribers at the end, so we can kind of foster a fragrance community and we can get the conversation going, so it's not just me talking all the time. So I gotta give a shout out to Quado. You are like my #1 commenter. He is always first, every single time. He's awesome. And he was commenting on one of my newest videos about the Dior Eau Noir, which is that scent in a green bottle that I'm like obsessed with. It's discontinued and it's gone, but I can't forget it. It's amazing. I still have a little bit. I have like half a bottle left. And his first comment was like, I never heard of this one before. Well, that is because it was in the Dior boutiques. It was like a really exclusive one that Hedi Slimane, who was the designer of the Dior Homme menswear created these 5 scents, and I don't know if any of them are still around. I think a couple did get discontinued. They still have the same bottles. You'll see them in Saks now, carries a lot of them, and it's a wider range, but the originals, some or all, are like completely gone. So they were really like kind of a niche scent. And this is a side note, but Hedi Slimane, who was the designer, he was the one that made skinny jeans come into style. He started showing them on the runway in like 2001 or 2002, and after a couple of years of his runway shows, everyone started wearing them. So I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know what everyone's opinion are of skinny jeans, but that huge trend a couple years ago was because of him. That's a side note. And then Quado also commented, again after watching the video, he goes, "LOL, you really love it." Yes, I do, and I am going to cry tears of sadness when I run out. It's like, it's not an everyday scent for me. The Dior Eau Noir, it's more of one of those like fantasy scents that like takes me to a whole nother place, and I never wore it as an everyday because it's too special and too otherworldly for like every single day, I feel. But it is like such a niche scent that like is part of I smell it and like all these memories come rushing back of actually when I was in New York. It's like I remember that time. I got it in Manhattan when I lived there, and it's just like I really love it, you guys. Like hardcore. Thank you for watching my video. Please comment below. I would love to get this conversation going and start this community of fragrance friends and fragrance lovers. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you again soon.